I'd like to say a few words about
Klay
Thompson.
Where do I begin?
When the chips are down, when the pressure is on.
He seems absolutely
cool as a cucumber.
completely unfazed, unflappable.
He certainly does seem to have a knack for
speed and accuracy under pressure.
Also, dude, suffice it to say,
For the past 3 years,
Things been rough.
a lot has happened.
Things just haven't been the same.
since you've been gone.
While you were away, the world changed.
I think I speak for everyone in the room when I say,
Oh, we have missed you.
Truly.
Sincerely.
From the bottom of our hearts,
Welcome back.
Klay Thompson, the mellow king, the guru of three-laxation, the pride of Santa Margarita Catholic High School, is back in our lives. I think most people will join me in saying, thank God, Klay spent 941 days away from the NBA stage after tearing his ACL at the end of the 2019 NBA Finals, which forced him to miss the entirety of the 2019-20 season. And then he tore his Achilles just as he was set to come back in the fall of 2020. It was brutally bad luck. Two of the most daunting injuries for any athlete, one right after the other. But lo and behold, he's back. It's interesting to imagine how we would talk about Klay Thompson, a player who is in the conversation for second best shooter ever, if the teams picking in the top 10 of the 2011 NBA draft hadn't screwed up so spectacularly. If any one of those teams sees the light on the road to basketball Damascus and takes him before the Warriors at 10, we are robbed of the opportunity to see him play with Stephen Curry, his backcourt mate. By now, you know the story. These two form the most lethal tandem of long-range accuracy that the sport has ever seen. They were the heralds of a massive strategic and cognitive paradigm shift, and Klay has played an enormous part in that. Only 41 players in NBA history have posted a season in which they shot over 200 threes at a clip of over 40% for an entire season. 7 of those seasons belong to Klay, and the only other player to accomplish that feat plays in the same backcourt. Thompson's heat checks are blistering, terrifying onslaughts of offense. He's hit 10 or more threes in a single game 5 different times in his career, and he currently owns the single game record for threes made in a game at 14. And I think it's fair to say that Klay's 37-point quarter against the Kings in 2015 is the single greatest heat check in history. A key difference between the Splash Brothers is in how they find their looks. Steph is more of a dynamic shooter as an on-ball creator, and while Klay can shoot off the bounce, he's been utilized primarily off the catch. For some players, that would spell out a kind of one-dimensional impact, but that is not the case. Directionally, Klay is comfortable shooting it in every conceivable way, popping off a screen, catching off the move and going left or right, catching and then quickly relocating.
We can go up, we can go down, we can go back, we can go forward.
In 6 of the past seasons, Klay has led the league in catch-and-shoot buckets, racking up over 3,500 points on those looks alone. Aside from having respectable size at 6'6", Klay's technique is basically flawless. His release point is high, he gets great elevation, the flick in his wrist is buttery, and he's consistently balanced. Most important is the fact that he replicates all of these things at lightning speed. It's been very fun over the years to watch Klay get his feet ready after sprinting off of a screen. Even if you're on time,
You're late.
offensively, there are a lot of ways to get from A to B in the NBA, but Golden State's approach has a number of commonalities with some of the most effective offensive teams in recent memory in terms of ball movement. They have multiple high IQ players with broad skill sets, shocker, but that makes a big difference, and they have a big forward who can pass the ball quickly and effectively without dominating the ball. A lot of NBA offenses start with the basic premise of creating downhill pressure with perimeter shooting as a release valve. This is done through pick and rolls, transition pushes, dribble handoffs, etc. The Warriors utilize those things too, but by keeping their shooters in motion away from the ball, they have a way of creating uphill pressure with cutting as a release valve. This de-emphasizes a reliance on driving the basketball, which means the ball's being passed more, and because a ball flies faster than a human can run, this creates a lot of open looks. This is a big reason why the Warriors are posting the highest number of secondary assists per game since Second Spectrum has been tracking the stat. Secondary assists are quick passes to a player who is in a better position to find someone in position to score. They're the pass before the pass. The Warriors also have the lowest touch time and the lowest dribbles per touch in the NBA, which is a way of saying that the ball is moving quickly and with purpose. The Warriors also excel at creating movements that are more difficult for the defense to physically react to, more specifically what I call south to north passes. This is when the defense is pulled towards the rim or the baseline and the ball is quickly rifled back out to the perimeter. Full stop. It's just more difficult for a defender to do a 180-degree turn and sprint the opposite direction on a dime. This is how an offense can get the ball to lower levels of the floor without depending on the drive. Movement from great shooters opens avenues for opportunistic cutting. And within that is another huge factor for great ball movement, and that is the timing of player decisions.
In our sport, I think it's crucial that you do something while something else is finishing.
In this play, Steph's baseline cut is synced up with a ball reversal from Bjelica to Jordan Poole, and this often means that there's going to be a quick pitch to Curry for a corner three. And watch Joe Ingles, understandably, fixate for just a moment on that potentially happening. Otto Porter takes one step in Steph's direction as if to screen, but instead turns and darts towards the lane. Rudy Gay is the low man and forced to leave the weak side corner to confront him, and Porter immediately passes the ball to Gary Payton II for a wide open three. This stuff happens constantly. Elite movement shooting heightens the potency of these types of offensive systems. The entire defense doesn't have the opportunity to get multiple sets of eyes on the ball at the same time. This puts a huge strain on the players who are communicating within a given play. Steph and Klay are extremely aware of the eagerness that opposing defenses have to contest their attempts from three, and they punish teams who get overzealous. Blitzing them on the catch is usually a terrible idea and almost always leads to a 4-on-3 in a huge wide open space. Blocking their path towards the ball or top blocking makes you vulnerable to their back cuts. Most teams choose to stay attached and trail the both of them because any attempt from them from two is a better scenario than them attempting a three. As effective as Steph's shooting, movement, and passing can be on its own, the Warriors sorely need some diversification. Golden State has run some version of this play all season, but watch what happens when Klay Thompson is on the opposite side of the floor, timing his cut with Kevon Looney's screen slip. Again, I'm no doctor, but it does seem like we're going to continue to watch a bumpy adjustment period, both for Klay as a player and for the Warriors as they try to integrate him into the balance of personnel that they've put together in the past year. Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Nemanja Bjelica, Otto Porter, Gary Payton II, none of these players were around when Klay went down in 2019. And after that kind of layoff and the looming feeling that a chunk of their title window was taken away, you can understand why Klay would be a little antsy. Part of Klay's existence as a player has been his ability to do his thing and seem almost unbothered by the defense. He could aggressively hunt his shot and be justified in doing so. The problem is that he's charged out of the gate looking to be the exact same player immediately. And until he's in a better rhythm with the Warriors offense, it might be wise to take it slow and focus on higher quality looks, otherwise moving with the offense or giving it up. And he seems to be aware of that.
Such a competitor, I mean, sometimes I want to get it all back in one night, especially when you're off for a couple years, but I'm at my best when I'm just playing within the flow of the offense and I'm letting the game come to me, and I just had a lot of fun out there, you know. When I'm having fun and I'm playing with energy and focus, the shooting and all that stuff will take care of itself.
I'm confident in saying that they do need him to be great in order to have a shot at the title, but Golden State has enough pieces so that he's not overburdened in the meantime. This is also true on defense. Klay has a reputation as a fantastic on-ball defender, often taking the toughest assignments, but the evolution of Andrew Wiggins in the past 2 seasons into a perimeter stopper alleviates pressure on Klay that might have him overexerting himself. And that goes beyond Wiggins. The Warriors have consistently been one of the best defenses in the NBA when firing on all cylinders, and a healthy Klay Thompson will supplement that. It's not difficult to understand why Klay Thompson's approval rating across the hoops landscape is remarkably high. The easygoing attitude, the love for his dog, the fact that he sometimes rides his boat to practice. Claytheism exists for a reason. Every single moment of this guy's life is like the instrumental break from Billie Jean. He seems to be moonwalking through everything he does. Thompson has been a moment machine over the course of his career, and he has a way of getting in the zone at the most crucial of times, to the point where sometimes I wonder if he ever really leaves the zone. He has such a steadiness of mentality, purity of persona, in a way that's almost childlike, feeding purity of craft. This is just my opinion, but an important aspect of creativity is to avoid over-scrutinizing what is coming out. Ups or downs, brilliance or bullshit, you gotta let it flow. And if a person is fully prepared and fully focused, the results are going to bear that out. Therein lies the spirit of Klay Thompson. He coolly coasts in the vacillation between those two states of being. And that gives me confidence that we're going to see the brilliant times again. Let me know if you agree.